What's up, guys? It's your boy Josh Showtime. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe on the link below. Follow me on social media at Papa Showtime, Josh Showtime, whichever one you find first. And guess what? This is Showtime Fight Form. Let's get into it, y'all. Now, man, listen. This is about UFC 284. This was an absolute banger of a card, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't really like feeling it to 100%. I already said this before, that the main event, co-main event were the fights that I really cared about the most. And honestly, still to this day, the fights that I cared about. The other fights weren't that important, but they were still good fights. That's what matters the most. Now, I already been doing a tally. I already told you I started off 4-1. Your boy was doing, sizzing out here, right? Hey, look, another successful card vote, right? All right, 3-1-1. I will take it, okay? The last one was a draw. I didn't win, or I wasn't wrong. I wasn't right, and I also wasn't wrong. So at the end of the day, I'll take that dub, and I'll simply say now my record is what? 7-2-1. I take it. 7-2-1. It's a perfect way to start off the year. Once again, if you did win some money, make sure you hit my Cash App up at Showtime Sanders. And break me off a little bit, man. If you want $5, man, give me $1 at least. Give me 50 cents, give me something. I would take it. All right, so let's talk about these fights, okay? I already said this before, man, and I could break down the first fight with Jimmy Crute, which was a draw, and the reason why is because of the point deduction. Here's the thing I will say, because I don't really care to talk about the fight too much. I didn't think Jimmy Crute looked that good, to be honest with you. Alonzo was catching him with some bombs, and honestly almost ended the fight. But I will say this, as far as the point deduction happened in the third round. I don't agree with it. Now, here's the reason why I don't agree with it. I'm cool with an infraction. I'm cool with not even gonna say a warning, because at the end of the day, he did hold the cage. He stopped him from a takedown. I feel like we shouldn't necessarily give him give up the round by saying, hey, he deducted a point. I feel like in that situation, you give up position. I thought that was a position loss that should have happened. You want to hold the fence? It doesn't matter if you would have got the takedown or not. You held the fence, you caused an infraction. Now you got to get to the bottom. Now you got to work your way up. I felt like that was more of a fair chance. Have him against the cage, have him on his back, laying down, and then we start the fight from there. And Jimmy Crute has an ability to work from there, rather than stop the fight, give up a point, and then have him hug against the cage. I'm pretty sure Alonzo would have took that. I'm pretty sure Jimmy probably would have taken that too. So, but at the end of the day, the fence grab was egregious. There need to be something that happens after that, because we can't allow people to hold cages to stop takedowns. That makes it unfair. It's just a fact. But yeah, it was still a fun fight though. That fight was great. Don't get me wrong. I know I said I don't care about the fight, but it's just because Jimmy Crute is supposed to be better than what he is. And Alonzo really put on a great fight. It was a fun fight regardless though. Really fun fight. One of the best, I ain't gonna say the best fight made card, but it was definitely a really good fight. The fight after that, once again, it's a fight no one really cares about. I was wrong about. But at the end of the day, it was me not knowing, because it's heavyweight, man. I should have known. I like to always go with the more versatile fighter and always pick them. But when it comes to the heavyweights, a lot of times it's just who punches the hardest. And that was Tafa. And he clipped him. All she wrote, 1 minute fight, good fight, fun fight to watch for that minute. But yeah, whatever. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. Now, the fight I do want to talk about a little bit, which is Della. Now, listen, I've said this before, man. I said the guy's coming along, man. He lost his first 2 fights, and then he's won every fight after that. And now he is on a tear. He has finished everybody in the UFC. Everybody. And I said this before. I called him getting the stoppage. I was wrong on the round, but I did say that he was going to get a stoppage. I don't really think, my analysis wasn't 100% correct where, it was wrong, but it was kind of right. Did Jack at any point struggle in the fight? Nah, not really. The only thing you could say he possibly struggled was getting in range. That was the thing I said would be a factor. He was missing shots by hair, a little hair. I thought it was gonna take him a full round to get over, but no, he found the range pretty quickly eventually. It took him 3 minutes, and he clipped him with a good shot. He has power. There's not gonna be too many guys at 170 that's gonna want to stand with this guy. He's talented. He's a top 10 fighter in my opinion. So look, Randy Brown was a tough challenge. Randy Brown isn't a bad fighter. He's been in the UFC for a very long time, and he's won some pretty decent fights. So to get that dub, and as nice and as undisputed as that was, hell of impressive. So 170, you got another contender, which like you didn't have enough, now you got another. So yeah, we need to see Kobe fight some of these guys. Not saying Jack, but you know, there's some guys in the top 5 that you should have fought, but you want to fight Jorge. But yeah, whatever. Yeah. So now let's talk about the co-main, and then obviously the main after this. Now let's get to this co-main. Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. Fight that everybody knew was going to be fireworks, and it was a hard pressing fight to think that it was going to go to the decision. One hits way too hard, one is just way too unorthodox. I mean, that fight gave you everything you wanted in those 2 rounds. I mean, you got stand-up, you got crazy stretch, you got the power punches. I mean, the first fight was exactly how everybody pretty much assumed it would go, which is, if this fight is going off of merit of who's landing more, who's landing the shots, it's gonna be Yair. Yair's too quick, his footwork's too good, he's too unorthodox. Josh Emmett is sometimes a statue when it comes to his defense. Now, when it came to the power, we knew if Yair gets clipped, he can get hurt. We saw both things happen in the first 5 minutes. Yair dominated that round until he didn't. Until Josh landed that bomb and hurt him, then it became, all right, I don't really know who won this fight, because in reality, like Yair was piecing him up pretty good and hurt him multiple times in that round. And then he gets hurt and then eventually drops and then, you know, gets some ground and pound, which was some good ground and pound too. Crazy fight to get started off with, start off, and we just knew that it was going to carry on to the second. The second was more of the first, but without the landing the big bomb part. Yair is just too good for him. Yair is just too quick. He's too explosive. You don't know where them kicks are coming. The body kicks are disgustingly bad. Like the head kick, the question mark kicks, like the punches, the elbows. You don't know what this man's gonna do. And shout out to Max Holloway, man. Hey, look, that fight aging like wine. Like, it aged well with me regardless, but it really shows you how good of a striker Max is. Because the fight was close on the feet, and he ended up becoming a wrestler to secure the W, but he was piecing up Yair pretty good. And also his chin is just magnificent. Like, Max has a top 5 chin, like, in UFC history. That needs to be discussed. He's eaten some amazing, he's fought some power punchers, and he hasn't been knocked out yet. That's, like I said, Max, crazy. But back to the actual fight. I thought Josh Emmett did the best he could. That was, he had a puncher's chance in this fight. I said the finish was gonna happen in the 4th round, and I did call by a knockout. It was a submission, which once again is just showing more layers that Yair is gained. He's not just a stand-up fighter, he can sub you too. I mean, we know what's next for Yair, and that is gonna be against Volkanovski. And I'll talk about Volkanovski next, but I'll just say this is gonna be a tough ass fight for him. For both, actually, but definitely for Yair, because Volk is at one point is kind of unstoppable. It's really weird, but he is. But if there's anybody that's gonna stop him, it will be Yair, because Yair is an absolute dog. So obviously now let's talk about the main event, the main freaking event. I was right, but I was wrong. I was right about the prediction. I did say Islam was gonna win, but I thought that fight was gonna be a lot easier for him. That was a dog fight. We've never seen Islam push like that, ever. He's gotten knocked out before, but that wasn't like, at the end of the day, flash knockouts happen, man. Like you got caught, he slipped the punch, and he got countered. That happens. That doesn't mean that the opponent necessarily was his toughest. You got caught. If they fought again, Islam probably wins that fight. But good Lord, man, Alex. Like Alex. I see why you call yourself the great, man. You are great. Like, that was one. First recollection, it looked like they were in different weight classes. Alex looked like a little person compared to Islam when they were fighting. It was not even, you clearly knew these guys were in different weights. I don't care how strong Volk is. He's a smaller guy. And then the takedowns, the takedown defense. I mean, bro, I said this before. Volkanovski gets taken down by people who are not as strong and not as good as Islam. Yeah, not this fight. Like I told you before, man, when it comes to that gym is just such a great gym. Their game planning is better than anybody's. So the fact that they came in so prepared is not surprising, but the fact that still Alex was able to implement it was so impressive to me. Now, ask me how I scored it. I thought Islam won. I thought it was 3-2. I gave Islam the first. I gave him the third. He easily won the fourth. That's 3 rounds. You know, I guess there's a swing round in there. I felt like, in my opinion, the round that was the most crucial wasn't the swing round that everyone is saying, which was, I believe, 2 or 3. I thought the round that was most crucial for Alex was 4. The one he got blatantly dominated on. Like, yes, he didn't get beat up, but he got controlled the entire round. That screwed him over because he was starting to take over the pace. Islam was tired. He was getting worn down throughout the fight. And these takedowns, if you noticed, he stopped. But once his takedowns started getting defended, he stopped shooting as much. The reason why is because anybody wrestler knows when you spam takedowns and you fail, that is the most demoralizing, mentally, physically thing you can do. That wears you out. And the fact that when Alex was getting taken down, he was getting right back up against the cage, wall walking. It was wearing on Islam. Hence why the 5th round, he got pieced up pretty good and almost got finished for real. I mean, and let's also give Islam for credit. I didn't expect his stand-up to be that good. We saw, yes, the wrestling affects your stand-up, so it makes your stand-up look better, but let's keep it a stack. Like, he was catching Volk a lot. And he dropped Islam, what? Not Islam, I keep saying that. He dropped Alex, what, twice? We ain't never seen, well, Max did it. But Max is one, you call Max the greatest boxer ever, or whatever it is in the UFC. Alex was getting pieced up by Islam. And to the point that you literally see him keep acknowledging it every time. You could tell Alex wasn't prepared for the stand-up of Islam. You can tell. He got outstruck by Islam. And I think, in my opinion, if they fight again, I'm still favoring Islam. And the reason why is because I believe they both slept on each other. I thought Islam slept on Alex's wrestling. I thought Alex slept on his stand-up. Now, I trust that I'll trust that Islam will fix his wrestling more than I trust that Alex will fix his stand-up. It's just still, you have to worry about that threat. It's still a tough matchup. And there's a lot that comes with, you know, fighting a person of Islam's caliber as far as wrestling goes. Now, it was a really fun fight. It was a good fight. I was so excited watching. I was getting hyped because I don't know, that you feel that dog in people's spirit. And it just makes you say like, dang, bro, like I could do anything, because Alex genuinely believes he could do anything. And you see him almost do the unthinkable. The thing that most people I didn't give him a chance for real. I didn't think he would get beat up. I just thought he would just get controlled the entire time like a little kid and get ragdolled. It didn't happen. So respect to Alex, respect to Islam, great fight. If it happens again, cool, but I don't think so. I think that they both have competitors that they need to fight in their division. And then maybe meet up again next year if they're both still champions. But as right now, move on to your division. It was a fun fight. Let's keep it pushing. I don't want to keep holding up these divisions. But I would love to hear what you guys think. As always, follow me on social medias at Papa Showtime, John Showtime. Go on, if you want to listen to me on the radio as well, I'm on 98.3 Real, Indiana's #1 for hip hop and R&B. Also, you can download the iHeartRadio app. You can hear me there as well. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. But as always, man, make sure you stay blessed and happy Black History Month.